Tariffs Explained. Welcome to KZ Academy. Hi, I'm Misty, a credentialed teacher specializing in second language acquisition, math, and elementary education. With over 20 years of experience in teaching, coaching, and tutoring, my goal is to make complex concepts easier to understand. This video aims to quickly inform the American public about an important issue: tariffs. While not technically taxes, tariffs function similarly by raising the prices consumers pay for goods. This episode will break it down in a way that's easier to understand. This episode is inspired by the posts I made back in 2018 in online forums, which helped lay the groundwork for what is now known as the science of reading, SOR. Many of these key ideas that Emily Hanford later presented as her research were already being discussed and shared by me in these forums before she brought them to wider attention. It's gratifying to see that the techniques I've been refining for over 20 years are now being embraced across America. Her voice played a crucial role in the raising awareness and bringing these ideas into the mainstream. The way people misunderstand tariffs today is similar to how they misunderstood reading instruction before the science of reading movement. Many assumed ineffective methods were working, only to realize later how much harm had been done. Just as flawed theories about reading led to ineffective instruction, misconceptions about tariffs drive poor economic policies that ultimately hurt consumers. Tariffs Explained. Today, we're diving into a concept that many seem complicated at first: tariffs. Don't worry, I'll break it down with a fun analogy from a unit called Mini Society that I participated in during third grade. The Mini Society game, a classroom economy. Back in third grade, I participated in a project called Mini Society. It was like running a tiny economy within our classroom. We created our own currency, set up businesses, and bought and sold goods. It was a hands-on way to learn about basic economics. One part of the game simulated how exchange rates work between different countries. At the time, it felt abstract, but now I realize it mirrors how tariffs operate in the real world. Let's apply what I learned in Mini Society to understand tariffs. The toy shop analogy. Imagine you and your friends each run a toy shop. You all buy and sell different toys freely, agreeing on fair prices. Everything runs smoothly because the market has determined the value at which you can sell your toys within your classroom. Then, the teacher introduces a twist. The teacher starts charging a special fee called a tariff. Now, whenever someone brings a toy into the classroom to sell, they must pay this fee. However, you are special and the only one exempt from this fee. At first, this seems like an advantage. Your toys can be sold at a cheaper price compared to your friends' toys. But as the class continues with this mini society, you realize that the tariffs hurt everyone, including you in the long run. How tariffs affect prices and choices. Now that your friends have to pay a tariff, they must make tough decisions about the products and toys they are selling. They have three main options: raising prices to cover the cost of tariffs, so a toy that was $5 might now cost $7. Reduce production costs. They might use cheaper materials or cut labor costs, which could lower the quality of the toys that they are bringing in to sell. Or lower profit margins. They may keep the prices the same but accept smaller profits on each toy, making it harder to sustain their business. Each of these choices has consequences. If they raise prices, fewer people might buy their toys. If they cut costs, the quality might decline. And if they accept lower profits, they may struggle to keep their businesses running. The key point here is that the seller, your friends in this case, must generate enough revenue to cover all their costs, including all the expenses they had originally, as well as the newly added tariff. Since money only enters the system when a product is sold, The seller has no other option but to pass this additional cost onto the consumer in some form. Until then, your friend, also known as the other sellers, make a sale. They are continuously spending money on materials, labor, and now the tariff. When a new expense like a tariff is introduced, the seller must find a way to offset this added cost to maintain their profit margin. Money doesn't appear out of thin air. The only time the seller earns money is when a product is sold. Therefore, the only way to cover the added fee is through one of the three options: raising prices, cutting production costs, or accepting a lower profit margin. Who actually pays the tariff? Even though the seller, your friend, technically pays the tariff up front, they usually pass the cost on to the consumer, you. So while it might seem like a fee on businesses, the reality is that it makes products more expensive for buyers. After all, where else is the money coming from? If your friend's toys now cost $7 instead of $5, if you buy from your friend, you're the one covering the extra cost. That's how tariffs work. They don't just affect businesses, they impact consumers too. The bigger economic impact. While it may seem like you benefit because your toys remain cheaper, a bigger problem emerges. Your friends' higher costs lead them to making fewer sales, which affects the entire economy in your mini society. With fewer transactions, everyone's buying power decreases, and soon the whole system slows down. This is a simplified version of what happens in the real world when countries impose tariffs. Tariffs in the real world, when a country imposes tariffs on imported goods, it's like the toy shop scenario. The government charges a fee on foreign products to make locally made goods more competitive. While this might seem like a way to protect local businesses, it has side effects. Importers, businesses buying foreign goods, pass the cost to consumers through higher prices. Domestic businesses may face less competition due to tariffs, but they can also see lower demand as the consumers cut back on spending. Your local economy depends on the financial well-being of all those around you. When they struggle, everyone feels the impact. Higher costs ripple through the economy, leading to inflation and reduced economic growth. Final thoughts. While tariffs may seem beneficial to local businesses at first because they encourage local production, they come at a much higher cost. They create a chain reaction of raising prices, fewer transactions, and slowed economic activity. Whether in a classroom economy or global trade, the effects are the same. Consumers ultimately bear the cost, making it harder for everyone to thrive. That's it for today's episode. I hope this breakdown helped make tariffs and their impact on both local and global economies clearer. If you found this discussion helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with others. If you have any questions or would like to dive deeper into this topic, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.